Hello, Cancer. It's time for your weekly reading, May 21st. No, May 15th to 21st, 2021. So I'm hoping it's a good reading today. It is a beautiful day. I've got my window open, so I'm hoping it doesn't make too much noise because it's just too nice to have the window closed. I need the air. I need some real air, not this closed up wintry stuff, but it is getting nice and warm here, almost hot. Like I'm starting to think about barbecuing, so I'm kind of excited about that. So let's dive into this reading. I'm just going to pull 6 cards and see where we get. Oh, this thing keeps coming up. That is probably the most common card I see in readings, and that is no lie. Oh, I'm liking the direction this is going. Wow, talk about your mixed bag reading. Really a mixed bag. We've got lots of interesting things going on here. Okay, so this card, like I said, is probably the most common card that I get. It can mean a lot. You're in action, you're doing something, possibly working. You are either doing something very inefficiently to not get the job done as easily as it could be. Perhaps you are not really in a great thought process at the current time where you're feeling very overburdened. Perhaps you actually are overburdened. You just have too much to deal with and you're having trouble doing it all. Too many tasks. Maybe you're the kind of person who does not say no often enough and you keep taking on more and more and more, whether at work or whether in your personal life and work. Whatever it is, it's too much. It's either too much or you're having trouble getting it accomplished, for whatever reason. So that's a problem. But you are still performing. So, I mean, it's not really a bad card. It's just bad for you. You're having trouble with it. So maybe take on less, ask for help, find a way to do something more efficiently, improve your mood so that it doesn't seem like such a horrible, horrible burden. Something. Then we've got the Fool. The Fool is so wonderful. Happiness, unbridled happiness and freedom, youthfulness. The universe has your back. You're about to step off the figurative cliff and everything's going to be okay because you are free. You don't feel this is what it says. So there's a bit of a dichotomy here in these 2 cards. I mean, or maybe you're leaving this behind to go do this. I mean, something's happening here. I'm going to guess that's not the case. I'm going to guess somehow you're going to find a way to have this time where... oh, I guess I shouldn't have left that window open. I have allergies and the pollen and everything. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I know I'm disgusting hacking away here while we're trying to do a reading. Anyway, the Fool is a great card. It's just a great card all the way around. It's freedom. It's being able to do what you want, being able to feel that feeling. Maybe you can find a way to feel this feeling while you're doing this, which totally changes life. So if you can do that, amazing. Or maybe you can find a way to do work that makes you feel like this because you're excited about it. You're free. You don't feel encumbered by clients, bosses, whatever. I'm sorry. I know it's not nice to cough through a reading the entire time, but if I stop recording every time, then I don't have the same reading, you see. So I don't want to do that because I want the natural, correct reading for you guys. Then we've got the Sun. Hooray! The Sun is one of the best cards in the deck. Unbridled, childlike joy. It's just fantastic. You feel a level of happiness that you really can't achieve most of the time as an adult. So it's a wonderful card, a beautiful card. And when I see it here with the Fool, there's this lightheartedness that just sort of goes together. And so I'm hoping this is going to be an amazing week for you guys. I'm hoping it's going to be an amazing, that something is going to happen that's going to give you this kind of happiness. This card does not surprise me one bit with this card, because this is that card where you're doing the work, you're doing whatever you have to do, as in the picture, you're growing something and this is your harvest or whatever. But there's dissatisfaction, there's disenchantment, there's disillusionment. It's not, it's not what you expected. whatever the thing is. You know, it's probably work, but it could be something else that you're working at towards your security. Maybe it's, this card can actually mean things like, because it can also mean health issues. Say you want to lose some weight, and so you go on a really good eating program and you don't see the results you want in the weight loss, or you are working out and you don't see the muscle mass you wanted to see. That can also be the case. But these two cards together really show me some struggling to get to a place that you want to get to in action or with financial security. Sometimes they're one and the same, kind of, you know, because one is doing the work and the other is trying to do the work to reap the benefit, more of an investment concept, whereas this one is just the here and now kind of doing. Then we've got Temperance, and Temperance can be, you know, tone it down if you're drinking too much or doing anything too much. Pot smoking, cigarette smoking, shopping, gambling, beating yourself up thought process wise, anything that's too much. And I mean literally anything that's too much, because if you're kind of like me where you're a little bit out there with your opinions and you're kind of a radical in some way, or you're too loud and whatever, sometimes Temperance will even walk in to say, hey, you know, like, there's a time and a place, you don't have to always shoot your mouth off, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm not saying that's the case for you, but I know it is for me sometimes. Then we've got this card. Of course I hate this card. Everybody hates this card. The Ten of Swords. This card usually means some kind of betrayal. Usually it means that you feel some kind of betrayal that's really hurtful and traumatic. Sometimes it can mean that you are carrying, like, I will even say, your cross to bear. Baggage that is so deeply ingrained that it makes you feel horrible. Like if it's a parent who didn't treat you right, it is a betrayal, right? And it's something you've carried for a long time. But either the wound is reopened, or it's something more recent, or it's something that has been so prevalent in your life that it's always at the forefront. I'm going to guess that's not the case. I'm going to guess there's something going on that would reopen that, or something to that effect. But you know what? Let's clarify. Let's not sit around guessing. Let's clarify. So if you've gone into yourself at all lately, which a lot of people are doing right now, kind of reflecting, meditating, thinking, reviewing, trying to figure out what's next, and this is also a sword card. If you go into yourself and you find this, sometimes it is from your early past and it has caused trauma. Sometimes it is a situation where, you know, it's just something you carry with you because of something, or it can be something that's a more recent betrayal. You know, a lover who has backstabbed you in the sense of being with somebody else, or not supporting you. It doesn't have to be that they're actually, it doesn't have to be something so dramatic as you catch somebody in bed with somebody else. It could be something like something is really important to you and they don't support you in it, and kind of drop the ball on you. That can feel like a betrayal, depending on what we're talking about here. I'm not talking about some minor issue. I'm talking about something that you feel to the depth of your being. This is something you feel like a huge betrayal, not some minor thing. Okay, so that's one possibility. And this is not exclusive of this. This could go along with this. So this card is something's coming in fast and furious. It could be anything. It could be a new job. It could be a new love. Sometimes we call this card the arrows of love, so it can mean something coming in really fast and furious. And if that is the case, these new events, no matter how positive they are, sometimes they rehash things with us. They bring feelings about, say it's a new job. Sometimes it makes us, even if we don't purposely look at, our parents and their roles in life or whatever, sometimes it will rehash it. It'll make you think about your past. How, maybe your father's job affected you. Maybe he had to go on business trips and be away for long periods of time. Maybe he was not the nicest person when he was stressed to the max because of work. It could be anything like that. So sometimes these life events make us have all this other stuff bubble up, which is fine. I mean, maybe that makes you have to deal with it and find ways to sometimes eliminate it. I know shrinks don't like to say that kind of thing, but sometimes we need to get rid of things to move on, not make them part of the fabric of our current life. So it depends on what you're like. I mean, everyone's different, and we have to recognize the fact that we all have different ways of dealing with things and different ways of feeling better about things. But here you've got the Ace of Pentacles. Now you might go, well, how does that relate to this? Well, you may know better than I do, because this is your life and you know how to figure out what this means and what this means and what this means. But I'm going to give you a couple of ideas. The Ace of Pentacles is something where you're trying to invest in your future in some manner, and it's the very inception of this idea. So just say that you're going to buy your first home. Well, that may bring up ideas of, if this isn't recent, if this isn't like a recent betrayal, if it's something in your past, and you may be looking at how your parents bought their first house and what their motivation was, or somebody else close to you, some people out of your past. Or perhaps it means, if this isn't your first home, if this is your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 20th home, maybe it brings up memories of when you first did that, when you were young, and what was going on at the time, and was there some kind of betrayal, or was there some kind of major hurt in your life at that time. Sometimes that kind of stuff bubbles things up out of the past. I hate to use that word bubble continuously, but I'm liking that word for the minute, so I'm going with it. So it is a positive card, though. It's a beautiful positive card. And always remember that sometimes when we have things that upset us or make us feel terrible, terrible things, some of those things are the best catalysts for positive change and amazing productivity and amazing, searching for things that we might not have bothered to look for otherwise, and to find these diamonds in the rough, So out of this, maybe this struggle and this feeling of betrayal and all of this produces, you've got this idea, this kind of investment in your future situation. You don't want to go through all this anymore. You want to start something new, something swift, something positive, where you've made the decisions and you want to do something great. So you're going to create something. And maybe that's what's giving you this feeling. Maybe it's considered even a bit foolish to go off and do something different to give you this. Maybe it's off the beaten path. Maybe you're not going to sit there and plod through and, do the conventional thing anymore. Maybe this is all about something a little bit different, that you're seeking this. So, whatever it is, I'm with you, babe. I hope you can make it happen. And don't be too upset about this, because we all have this at some point or another. Go through your week. There's nothing terrible here, and there's an awful lot of wonderful. So plow ahead. I hope it turns out amazing for you, and I hope to talk to you soon. Take care.